It was our meeting place, and a ritual never varied. It was only the two of us in our space. We took turns being at each other's side when one of the boys had surgery. We bonded over continuing knowledge of cerebral palsy and its course. I was right by her side, and she was by mine. We bonded over having husbands in the military. Mine came back, hers did not. My husband Jim and our two children, Candace and Michael, along with me, were invited to her house to witness the presentation of the medals and flag posthumously to Brian for his father, Gordon Hill. A moving moment for all in attendance. We were right by her side. And of course I was right by her side when she was choosing her suit for her wedding to Tom. What fun I had at iMagnet. She looked just radiant. It was perfect. Choosing the shoes took a little longer, but worth every minute of it. The wedding was warm, intimate, and palpable love and devotion in the air, a love match. I was right by her side. The joy in her voice when Afton was born was the most exciting call ever. She was in awe of this perfect gift. When she developed breast cancer, Jim and I came out one summer to spend some time with her. I stood by her and listened and was heartsick at what she had been through. I was right by her side. When Brian died, I came out immediately to be with Julie. She knows she can be herself with me. A few days before the service, there was a lull of activity. I insisted we go shoe shopping just to have a little mindless task. It served wonders. Our mind was afloat for an hour. It was a diversion she needed. I stayed right by her side. This summer when Julene attended the National League of Families Symposium, she found out several items she didn't know about Buddy. She called me a few times. I happen to have gotten a few phone calls in that time frame as well, from Washington, D.C., and was very upset. I listened to all of her outrages and agreed with her. She had her plan all made and was proceeding to get the information from whomever she needed it from. I stayed by her side with the phone, listening to all the details. Julene gave so much to the world in her life, an example to all of us. She lived her best life by taking on the rights of disabled children, the MIA experience, staying involved and keeping it in the forefront of the world. She selfishly opened her home to people throughout the years who needed a temporary home and food and solace and a soft place to fall. And through the years, through Julie, I was able to meet lots of people I could not have met otherwise. Paul, Marilyn, Greg, Michael, Marcy, Carolyn Chase, Marshall Carrick, Jeannie Arak, Zoltan, Eric, Richard, Kathy, Kimberly, Clayton, and our dear, dear friend Don. I will never, ever forget Dina, who was so brave, loving, and kind, Julie's friend to the end. And most importantly, Tom and Afton, who will need your love and support all the days ahead. Tom, you were Julie's soulmate, sweetheart, friend, and strength for all these years. You gave her the greatest gifts of all, unconditional love, trust, honor, and fun. Truly a match made in heaven. We had a deep and intimate friendship. I can never, ever fill the void in my life. I thank her for the gift of trusting me to be her dearest friend. To you, Julene, even though we are not breathing the same air right now, you continue to breathe life into me, my best life ever. I will try to live up to your ideals of how we should treat each other. And when we meet again, I will look at you and say, Yuli, where can we get a chocolate donut around here? We have a lot to get caught up on. Love always, Judy. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Vaughn Packard. I am a member of this ward and a friend of Tom and Julie's and the family, and have been for the last approximate 12 years, I believe. And I'm here to speak about our Father in Heaven's plan of happiness and salvation for Julie and for her family. It is all about family. God being our Father and we being His children, being His sons and daughters, we lived as family with Him before we came to this earth. And so did Julie. He nurtured us. He taught us. He taught us what to expect. He was already a glorified being, a being of spirit and incorruptible, immortal body combined. We, as was Julie, were spirits and had lived with Him a long time, and He taught us. However, He wanted us to have every opportunity that He had had. He wanted us to be able to become like Him. He wanted us to be able to have an immortal, incorruptible body with all of the attendant glory and opportunities that would be associated with that. And so He gave us a choice. He gave us a choice to come to this earth, which He created through His best Son, Jesus the Christ, also known as Jehovah. He created this earth with other trusted sons and daughters helping Him in that process. And then He gave us the choice to come to this earth if we would. All of us wanted to return to His presence. There were some who feared that if they would come to earth and make mistakes, that they may not be able to return to their Father in heaven and to their heavenly family and home. Some chose not to come to the earth, so afraid were they of making mistakes and not being able to return. However, Julie, like everyone here who has or will live on the earth, chose to come to the earth and to face that risk of making mistakes, of doing perhaps the selfish thing or the proud thing that was unlike what our Father in heaven would choose. And they chose to trust in